welcome back everyone to Red Spotlight Entertainment. As you can see, things are not as usual. Today we are joined by the ghost of Christmas past. No, that's not true. Today is going to be a episode concerned with Superman, as everybody is watching that right now. But today we are joined by Kyle Andrew Lira, if I'm not mistaken, the one and only, the creator of this podcast, the individual who, if not for him, we would not be on this channel on the regular. He is back. He is here. And we are so excited to talk about Superman, a film that has been highly anticipated for a very long time. Kyle, it has been a minute since you've been on this show. First and foremost, I want to say welcome back.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it has for sure been a long time. But I just got life just came around, and a lot has happened since in between episodes. But since my last appearance, I guess. But I'm here and fully ready to talk some soups with you. You know. So.
Yeah. Life moves fast. I think the last time you were here must have been April 2024.
April 2024. That's okay. Really?
A little over a year. Yeah, I think so. The last time you were on a show, we were talking about the our so far favorite films of the decade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. That's when you were trying to like get away with getting Dune Part 1 and Dune Part 2 as one individual film. If you recall that one. That was the last time.
Okay. Yeah. Which I still believe. And you know what? When Dune Part 3 comes around, I'm still going to consider it one film.
All right, that's because it's officially now titled Dune Part 3, that's funny. Okay, so listen, we can dispense with the pleasantries here. I feel like any longtime listener would know that we're huge longtime fans of James Gunn. You specifically have a really interesting history with the character of Superman. So that's like double the times of just like, having this film be so highly anticipated. A lot's already been said about this movie. I got to tell you, my first question is, how were you about like keeping your expectations in check? Because you never want to like go in with like sky high expectations. And then also, how did you like the movie?
Well, the thing is that with my expectations of the movie, it was very and that's the thing about this kind of thing is that I was for sure I was excited. Ever since they announced that, I was cautiously optimistic when they announced that a new Superman was going to come around and that they're probably going to reboot the whole DCU situation, because the DCEU pretty much fell by the wayside, and now we have this whole entire new universe to dive into, and I think my anticipation heightened greatly when James Gunn was announced that he was when he was going to be the director and write the whole thing, which made me even more excited, because I'm like, okay, it's one thing to be directed, it's one thing to write it, but it is 100% his vision. So I think that was what really got me. But the thing is that I was keeping it low, like the last, I guess, like 2 marketing cycles with the film. I didn't watch anything because I wanted to go in fresh. I didn't want to know anything, going in and all that stuff. And because I've been wrong before, I've been grossly wrong before with something that Hollywood shells out. And so I wanted to keep it very, very, very liminal in terms of that. So I wanted to keep it like that, and then keep it leveled, keep a level head about it. When I saw the movie, like I took my girlfriend with me, and let me tell you something. I was blown away. I was blown away. I felt completely. I felt completely validated in putting my trust in James Gunn. Because James Gunn is, he fires on all cylinders, as it were. That gun was loaded, and man, did he fire it. I will never. This shows me never to doubt James Gunn, basically, and I trust him with this whole entire universe, and I'm excited about what's going on, and what's being planned next.
No, for sure. I feel like, I'll admit to you, I did get a little bit nervous in the last couple of days because I was like, oh my God, it's almost here. It's almost here. It was like, so I was like, oh my God. And I know that I had spent years, especially on the show, just like, being against all the naysayers, because I'm like, it's James Gunn. Like, he consistently delivers not just good movies, but great movies, especially in this genre, especially in this space,
He does.
So, yeah, like, to me, it kind of like, well, I don't think it's going to be bad. That's for sure. And I'll tell you, like, when I was like watching it and then the lights like were, dimming and the movie was about to begin, I was like, had to take a deep breath. I'm like, okay, here we go. I had not felt that sense of just like pure anticipation, I think, since Endgame. I think of just like,
really?
I'm hyped up. I'm ready. Now, I want to say, to be clear, I'm not saying it's like the best or the most excited, but I will say this, because there've been plenty of movies that I've like been excited for, but this felt like different because if you remember when we would watch all of these Marvel films at their peak, at the era of their peak, there was all of this excitement for any one of them, And this was different for me because I was in a full theater with people there with the exact same energy. And I was like, oh my God, it had been a long time since I had felt it that way. And then, of course, all the audience reactions, like the whole experience was wholly new in the character of Batman, of course. Superman. I don't know why I said Batman.
Yeah.
And
which I'll get into in a bit.
Whole new, yeah, we will for sure. But it's like I think genuinely it is a really successful movie. And I got to tell you, I feel like when I walked out of it, I was already thinking whatever, like, let's just say nitpicks or let's just say story issues or character issues people had, I'm pretty sure that's going to like fall away pretty quickly. And I think I've already seen some people not necessarily retract, because I do think if you don't like Gunn's flavor, I like if you've watched all of his other films and none of them worked for you, I don't know if this will. So there is something to be said for that. But I gotta tell you,
something I want to add to that is like the like if you don't like the whole argument of like, oh, if you don't like James Gunn's flavor and all that stuff, Grace Randolph freaking loved the film, and she is a notorious James Gunn hater.
She hated a lot of his movies,
and so I don't think that argument really holds any water. And I just from the sheer knowledge of Grace Randolph liking the movie, and she notoriously hates the guy, and she hates the guy, she hates everything that he that he represents, for whatever reason. I have no idea, but it's not like her Jessica Chastain beef.
No, it's not like that beef whatsoever, but apparently this movie was so successful for her that she, quote, made her a believer in James Gunn's DC or DCU. So
I think that really spoke, honestly, after I saw the pre-review for that, I think that was the final nail of my hype.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, if she's saying that it's
liked
good,
it.
if she liked it, then we're in for something good. We're in for something good.
And I think she didn't just like it. She said it was the best Superman movie yet. That's okay.
Big statement from Grace. Big statement from Grace. But you know what? Grace is like wishy-washy But
Yeah.
when she's right, and I think that a lot
Yeah.
of people in the industry hate that about her.
That's why she for will forever be known as the chaos angel of film critics, because you
Yes,
just never
for
know what's
sure.
gonna happen. Um, no, I gotta tell you, I genuinely loved it. And I can't say that I loved all parts equally, but I do take issue with people that say that the film is messy, because I think everything in the movie really is all kind of like working alongside each other. And I know that there were concerns about like there being a lot of characters. I don't think they even registered. I think this was a Superman film from beginning, middle to end. Like, and
Yeah.
for not just him, but also Lois Lane and Lex Luthor definitely had more than their fair share of time to really make an impact. Look, I did a lot of takeaways. I love the film. I love James Gunn's vision for this character, because I think whether he intentionally tried to or not, because I think at the time that this was written, Joe Biden was the president, I think, right? And I
Yeah.
don't think anyone really thought that we would be in a well where we are right now. I won't say
Yeah.
too much about it. But the thing is, like,
Yeah.
like
I
unironically, the film was written in the time that's not now, and somehow it speaks to everything going on right now. And what better character to speak to that than Superman? I think ultimately he made a film that is about kindness and
yes.
about how that is the ultimate superpower. He also made a Superman film that was focused more, as he says, on the man part. Like the one of it's hard to make a god like him in a way, like he's a godlike figure relatable. It's hard to make him like
But that's
likable, and he did all those
uh-huh.
things.
But that's where I feel like Gunn really, because Gunn really plays the juggling act really well.
Yeah.
He knows how to balance things. He knows how to make everything collapse. Now, the thing that I do have an issue with, which is not really an issue, but the movie does feel overstuffed. It feels like there was a
Okay.
lot of there was a lot of ideas that he had. Now I'm not saying that the film was messy. No, everything did work
No.
and mesh well together. But my issue is that I feel like the movie was overstuffed, and I would rather have it have been like a character study on Superman himself and see like what does
Can I ask you a question real quick? Do you
yes.
think you'll feel the same way if you watch it a couple more times, or do you think it might mellow more? That
Um
issue, because I'm getting that you're saying that there are maybe one too many storylines that are taking away from Superman.
maybe. I mean, every all movies age either badly or for the better. And I think
Yeah.
that I think with that being said, I think that this really will stand the test of time. I'm already seeing it as a comic book movie classic.
Yeah.
Um just from how he approached making this, because I remember in an interview with James Gunn, now that I've seen the movie, I get to watch all the interviews and them
Press.
talking
Yeah.
about in the press, and that's usually how I work. I don't watch the press or whatever going into it. I watch stuff going out of it. Um,
Yeah.
but the way that I heard James Gunn say, I forgot what kind of interview it was, but he said that while Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 or the Guardians movies was a tribute to film, this movie in particular is a tribute to comic books. And it definitely felt like I was stepped inside an issue of Superman, a random issue of Superman. And that's how I felt like I was, cuz like the world is so big that that characters are going to come and go, like Mr. Terrific, sometimes even a random John Cena will pop out of nowhere. um but I feel like that's what really works about it, is that it feels like a comic book, and I think that overstuffedness um is attributed to that, because it sometimes a comic book issue is the messiest thing
Mm-hmm.
ever. but I feel like with that being said, he really does this trapeze act of balancing that I find
Hmm.
really good. So while I find it overstuffed, I think that the balance from just what it is makes up for it.
Yeah, for sure. Look, is there enough good things that can be said about David Cornsweet?
Oh my
I
god.
mean,
Let me tell you something about this man. Oh my god. Um he he plays off wanting to do good really really well. And
yeah.
that I think is his biggest attribute, is that he really plays off the whole I'm just trying to get by, and his speech at the end, I think his monologue at the end when he's like saying, I'm scared, there are days where I'm scared, there are days when, but I, put one foot in front of the other and just try and do my best on this, on this planet. That's quintessential Superman.
Yeah.
That is very quintessential Superman, and just the fact that he's having that conversation with Lex Luthor, I it really brings home the whole thesis statement of it. Like, um, again, it's like going back to one of our favorite um, and here goes where the where the comments are gonna flood in if you put this on YouTube. Um, the Last Jedi, dun dun dun. Um, the the whole theme of that movie is failure is the greatest teacher, and the thesis for this is that being human is great, and I think that with that being said, there's many beautiful aspects of being human. It doesn't have to be all dour. Just be kindness, like you said. And I think that really sold home the point of especially when he was talking to Pa Kent in Smallville, and him saying that he's proud of him for taking the choices that he had, even though that there was like a pre-fulfilled destiny that he was supposed to fulfill. um you don't have to live by destiny. All you have to do is just live it one foot at a time. And I think that is what really drove home the point of the choices we make should eventually lead to kindness. And that's where everything should lead, really. And I that is such again, that's so quintessential Superman, that I felt like I was actually watching a Superman and not um I wouldn't call Henry Cavill's version Homelander from The Boys, but but sometimes it does come off with that kind of energy. It does come off as Homelander-ish, especially with the Christ allegory, him floating off into space in a in a
God,
in a
forgot about that situation.
in a corpus figure. I mean, there's like so many different Alec. Zack Snyder tried to make him God first, human last. Versus, I like that this is like
Hmm.
human first, God last, and that is what Superman is supposed to be. And like for example, Christopher Reeve version of Superman is not God first, human last. It's human first, God last. And he's one of the citizens on Earth, and like in Guardians Volume 1, when when Rocket was talking with Star Lord, and he's saying, why do you want to save the galaxy anyway? And he's like, because I'm one of the idiots that live in it. You know, like the fact that he wants to protect Earth, save Earth, and keep Earth as it is. It really sells home the fact that he's just a guy doing his best. And that's what we all should do. Just a guy doing their best.
Yeah, there are plenty of people who walked out of it that were saying that, man, this movie and this Superman really made me want to be a better person. And if people walk out feeling that way, I would say that's mission accomplished. That speaks very highly of your movie.
That is again, this is where I find it so interesting, and where I hope where Pattinson's Batman comes into play in the DCU, because the whole thing about Batman is like, look how corrupt society is, look how everything is dark, grim, and brooding, and look at me, woe is me for trying to fix it. Um, versus Superman, it was the complete opposite of that. And Superman is just like, hey, just do think good things because it's right. You know, I think that's why I love the 12th Doctor so much, because the 12th Doctor is
Mm-hmm.
very much like, hey, just be kind. It took him 3 seasons to get around to that point, but that's what the overall message of that theme is. Just kindness, and it is a theme that we so need today. It is it
For
is a
sure.
theme. It is a theme that we so need today, because the thing is, a lot of people hide behind behind a monitor, behind a screen, yelling at other people, saying that just unabashedly unashamed of saying horrible things to people. And I think that needs to change, and I hopefully that the conversation has started with this movie, you know?
Yeah, I hope so. Clearly, those people who we were talking about were the inspiration for Lex Luthor's monkey bots.
Oh, I love
I mean,
that.
that was not subtle whatsoever.
Well,
Kyle,
what was the
what about? Go ahead.
what was the hashtag space shit or something like that?
Super
Super
shit?
shit.
Super shit, yeah. Hashtag super shit. And that one, oh God.
By the way,
Yes.
I love how Lex throughout the whole entire movie just constantly is trying to
Yeah.
rage bait Superman, and
He's
I
a
find
hater, man. He's a true hater.
he's a hater through and through, man.
He said he created a whole war just so he had an excuse to kill Superman.
Oh my god, what an asshole.
No, he was great.
Oh
Nicholas
my
Holt is
god.
somebody who is been around for a while now, but this is a true, I think, watershed moment for him specifically because I think he was perfect as this character.
I think going to Nicholas Holt, man. Um I mean, I really liked him, like, what is it? 10 years ago when Mad Max Fury Road came out?
Yeah, 10 years ago this
10
year.
years ago, can you imagine that?
Yeah,
But 10 years ago, he stepped up to play, and for Mad Max Fury Road, and I'm like, dang, he's a formidable actor, and of course I've seen him in like The Favorite and other stuff, and but this movie, my god, the thing about this movie, and it made me root for Superman even more. He's such a dislikable asshole
yeah.
that you want Superman to kick his ass.
Yeah, I mean, he's
And
basically Elon Musk.
he is
Although
like just
that would be giving Elon Musk too much credit, I would say, because he's not on the level of genius that clearly Lex
like
Luthor is. But
to create
go ahead.
another Superman clone. Wait, for those for those who are just watching, I guess we're doing spoilers. I guess, um, if that
I
means
think so.
anything. Um,
Did we say anything spoilery already?
I'm not sure. I think
I
we
don't
just
think we did.
I
I
think we
don't think
just
we
did
did.
like the bare bones
Yeah.
basics about it. Um, but yeah. So when he created like Ultraman, and when he said, that's the thing. I feel like it's my destiny. I feel like it is my destiny to take you down. I feel, and the thing is that this,
Delusions of grandeur.
yeah, and and this is where I find let's contrast it with something on the opposite team, okay? Thanos. You firmly believe that this this guy believes he's the hero of this story. Um,
Yeah.
and so many people like Kyle Rittenhouse thinks he's the hero of that story, of his own little story. But a lot of times these wannabe heroes are oftentimes in the wrong, you know. So like with the situation in LA recently, with everything that has happened within the last 6 months, can you believe that? Um, it, a lot of these heroes are off trying to do what they uh, what they have as a sense of duty and fulfillment. But sometimes you need to stop and think, what am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? What is this for? And if you
Mm.
can't answer those basic questions, then maybe you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
you know so I think with that being said, he Nicholas Holt really makes this. I honestly, I find like the scene that I found it most terrifying is when there's a falafel guy um who gave Superman food once, and he was helping him out another time, being kind, you know, and Lex Luthor was punishing him by being kind, by trying to get some information out of Superman by playing Russian roulette against his head. And I found that scene so terrifying, of just the evil capabilities that this man has, the evil of his ambition. It was really, really, like, honestly, since the criticisms that he's gotten from Ronan the Destroyer, he's really taken his villains and and runs with them. And I think the last time I was like truly terrified with a comic book villain was what was the
High
name of
evolutionary.
the High Evolutionary from Guardians Volume 3. And that's the last time I was like, oh my god, that this is a terrifying villain, and just like what he's trying to do. And again, it's like people trying to play God.
Yeah.
People trying to play God is oftentimes the most terrifying. And I think that with people trying to play God, I think that that's what makes it his, I guess, crusade against Superman even more again. And it's so telling that he straight up says, "Yeah, I'm envious of you, Superman. I'm envious." He envies his power, and he's envious of the power that he'll never be able to obtain, because he's a mere mortal, But Superman shows that you could be more, mortal, and the point of being mortal is just to be kind. And it's such a good interwoven story, and the way that James Gunn was able to tell it is so quintessential Superman that I feel like he understood. Again, like, we're talking Ryan Johnson, J.J. Abrams, um, J.J. James Gunn, Zack Snyder, to where James Gunn understands Superman more than Zack Snyder did. And that's the same way I feel about Ryan Johnson, is that Ryan
Yeah.
Johnson understands Star Wars more than J.J. Abrams did. I mean, J.J. Abrams was never a big fan of Star Wars to begin with, and it's just, this is what a true fan does, is like take the conversations of these respected properties and just runs with them.
Mm-hmm. For sure. What do you feel about Lois Lane?
Oh, Rachel Brosnan. Oh my god, she is fantastic. I remember controversial piece. I remember when she first started on House of Cards. Remember that?
Yeah, I think you did. You?
Yeah, I remember that era. And then I started watching Marvelous Miss Maisel um as I'm doing my schoolwork as a new term start. And man, is she quick-witted and funny. And honestly, when it was announced, like more than David Cornsweet, because I've never seen anything with David Cornsweet, but when it was announced that Rachel Brosnan was going to be Lois Lane, I was like, that's a no-brainer. That is
Yeah.
like of all the people in working today, I think Rachel Brosnan is the person to have as Lois Lane. She's quick witted, she's funny, she's quick on her feet. She's quick on her feet, and her delivery is really fast. Like a reporter should. And I remember watching your review and how you were laughing at the part where she was pouring a lot of sugar,
Yeah.
and she
That
was
was
like,
great.
saying, listen, Jimmy, I still got the taste of plutonium in my mouth. Like like the jokes are so good in the movie, but it's not. A lot of people are saying, oh, like the jokes, they take out the serious moments. I didn't think so. There was a joke that quickly followed the Russian roulette scene, and
No.
I was still terrified.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think at any point the humor at all compromised any of the things that were supposed to be emotional or intimidating. Like, not even one time.
Yeah, I think. And another thing that I want to point out is the people who are saying, oh, he's just getting beat, left or right. This is a very weak Superman. He's
Are
very
you
weak.
kidding me? Are there people who are really saying that?
There are a lot of people saying that this Superman was really weak and he was losing all the time.
Oh my god.
It's ridiculous. It's
This is
ridiculous.
why we can't have nice things. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Like, first of all, in the movie, let's just talk about in the context of the movie. In the first 30 seconds of the movie, it says that Superman has been on the scene for 3 years, and in 3 years he's never won a fight until now. Like 3 years without with nonstop.
That's an amazing
wins?
streak.
That's
an amazing streak at that. Yeah.
As a superhero, that is a tremendous streak. And also, you see the precision and care that he takes as the role of a hero by making sure everybody's okay, making sure you are well fed, making sure you eat lunch, make sure that the squirrel down the street is saved. He's taking such precautions. And he's with the kaiju monster that he fights along with the Justice Gang. It's not officially a trademark, Justice League. But when he's fighting that kaiju, he's trying so hard to make sure that, number one, the monster is not harmed. Number two, humanity is not harmed. And number three, he's not harmed. So I mean, it's just it's just a balancing act that he's trying to do. That is what makes Superman such a good hero and such an interesting person to witness. And I think that and not only that, but when he first takes off to fight Ultraman for the first time, he was beaten badly, and he's only playing at 86% of his abilities. So I think that is something that that should be noted as well. He's not fighting at full capacity. This is a Superman that's not fighting at full
Clearly,
capacity.
but that's kind of the point. If you're complaining about Superman getting beat too much, congratulations, you've missed the point of the whole movie. And you also, I think, missed the point of these stories in the first place. Traditionally, some of the best comic book stories and comic book movies have been when the lead character is being put through the ringer and they're having not just problems fighting a villain, but their own personal lives are getting too heavy at the same time. There's no greater example than Spider-Man 2. And I think James Gunn very wisely, he chose, instead of just doing another origin story, he was like, you know what? The more interesting story stuff is an established Superman. And that's where I can get because I think in his mind, James Gunn was like, I don't know if I'm going to get a second shot at this. So I'm going to use whatever I can and just go straight. This is as if Spider-Man 2 was just Spider-Man 1, and they just skipped past the origin.
Yeah.
This is the story that this Superman, this Clark has in this movie is what traditionally would be in a sequel. But because everyone knows the character, everyone knows the origin, at this point he was like, well, let's just go straight for the most interesting story stuff out there. And
Right.
God, it all worked, and I think it paid off. And if people are complaining about him losing too much in this movie, congratulations, you've missed the point.
Yeah,
You've missed the point.
and he was still trying so hard to do good, even if he wasn't at his best, you know? And I think that's very admirable for what he's supposed to be, truth, justice, and in the American way. He is the hero. A lot of people, whenever there are, I think, like three examples of comic book characters that whenever somebody says name me a superhero, typically it's um Superman, Batman, and Spider-Man. Those are the
Yeah.
three. Those are the three that people typically point out when you say, "Hey, name a superhero." Superman. Name a superhero. Batman. Name a superhero. It and to be in that kind of Mount Rushmore of superheroes, you kind of have to have somebody like that, And that's what makes Spider-Man so interesting is not when he's winning, but when he's losing, you know? Like
Yeah.
Number it frustrates me that it took 3 movies for Spider-Man to reach the status quo, but in No Way Home when he's down in his luck, rent is due at the beginning of the month, he has nobody, he's in a dingy apartment, um and he's sewing his own clothes together. That is the Spider-Man that is interesting, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Batman, his whole life is just full of loses, loss. So that's what
But
makes him
I
interesting.
feel like a lot of these people also just, this is why they probably enjoyed the Snyder stuff more, because they don't really like the character of Superman really at all. And I think what really in part led Zack Snyder to mess up that character is because he just made him invincible. And
Hmm.
when you make a superhero like that untouchable, who's gonna care? That's in part one of the choices he made that made that character not all that relatable and not all that likable either. Um, and we saw way more sequences of him just flat out murdering people than saving people. And this movie gets it right.
Yeah,
David
he's
Cornsweet, he saves everybody. He saves a squirrel.
yeah.
Like,
He saves a squirrel. He saves a dog. He saves. There's a bunch of. He's shielding people from getting hurt, even at like the most detrimental blasts. I think that is also some great Superman stuff because he's trying to, again, going back to it, he's just trying to do good. And I think recklessly fighting Zod in the middle of Metropolis, destroying most of Metropolis, I think is just grossly irresponsible. And we're learning the wrong lessons from Superman. You know,
yeah.
Superman literally, in the heat of passion, invented time travel to make sure that nobody got hurt from Lex's schemes in the first Superman movie.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just like it's one of those things where he literally will take the leaps and bounds to make sure that nobody gets hurt and everybody is saved. And I think that that's what makes him very interesting. Just his vulnerability and his passion for people and his love for the human race, I think is absolutely admirable. And he hopes one day to be a little bit more like them. Isn't that cool? Isn't that
I
cool?
think it is. Yeah, it should be.
He's like,
I think he
hey,
is cool. I mean, the whole thing about like, yeah, he's punk rock, maybe, and then the line that Lois says to him about like, you just love everything and you see the best in everybody, and like, and he says maybe that's the real punk rock, right?
Yeah.
I
By
just
the
like
way,
he's not. Yeah.
by the way, that song that Iggy Pop did is stuck in my head right now.
It's stuck in everybody's head. Literally everybody's like having the exact same song because, and that's the thing. Look, that's what James Gunn does best, honestly. Like he's always gonna deliver a couple of songs in every movie he does that'll get stuck in your head.
A good needle
Um,
drop.
he no, not just a good one. Like he's the best at
At
needle
needle drop.
drops. Like,
Enough to
like I
where
feel like
remember when this is a long time ago, 9 years. Let's go 9 years. When Suicide Squad came out and they like revamped it, re-edited it, and all that stuff, and like the corporate mandate was to make it more like Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah,
Um, and there were just like
yeah.
random needle drops that somebody's
Oh my god.
random
There were like
Pandora
30
stations.
songs in the first like 30 minutes.
It was
It
a
was.
it was a random iHeart radio station playing in the background. That's it. I mean,
That's what it felt like.
it didn't even feel like
Somebody's
anything.
Pandora account was on the fritz.
Yeah. Like,
Like, and I
excuse
say
me,
Pandora specifically because it's like it was those kind of songs too.
projectionist, I think you left your Bluetooth on. But yeah, I mean, it's just that needle drop punk rocker is such a good needle drop to have in a movie
Yeah,
because again, like, isn't it, I find it absolutely groovy, baby. That
absolutely. And I think his
uh
I like he's not supposed to be like the personification of cool, but
mhm.
I think like we have to, and I feel it. I think like because like not that he's a Boy Scout, but like
That title is reserved for Captain America and Captain America only.
yeah, yeah, but like the fact that he genuinely wants to do good and be good in and of itself, like because of the times that we live in right now, good is cool again. And Superman like has come at the right time. And like I hear a lot of talk, including from David Cornsweet and James Gunn themselves, that look that they weren't sure about like if they wanted to include like the underwear on
Oh,
the
the
costume.
briefs.
And I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, and I'm like,
absolutely.
you know what? I don't know. The suit looks really cool. Like, yeah, I can see some people looking at it and like it's kind of dorky. I don't know. It's Superman. What do you want? And I
But
just think like they made a really great suit and he looks great in it. And I love that he's in this movie, most of this movie in that suit.
it's like the thing about that suit, and this is where David Cornsweet was talking about it. He said they were really having a hard time like figuring out whether to do the briefs or not. And the fact that it does look silly, it does look goofy, it makes Superman a little bit more approachable versus like the intimidating no chones whatsoever approach
Yeah.
that has been done in the past. I don't know. I think wearing the briefs over the spandex is an absolute staple of Superman that I think never should have gotten rid of in the first place. I just think that it makes the character more approachable, you know? I just think that yeah, he is silly, but you know what? Like he can shoot lasers and fly. Like
What
what
do
do you
you
think?
want?
What do you want? I don't know. I don't know. Though like just people are ridiculous. I
Yeah.
I was absolutely thrilled to find out that they kept when the costume reveal about I think it was early last year um when the costume reveal dropped. I was absolutely ecstatic because they kept the underwear. I was like, yes, this is the kind. Uh, it, little drops like that is where I knew what direction James Gunn was gonna go, just by the
Yeah.
sheer fact that they kept the underwear. They kept the underwear.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think ultimately, see, it's not really that big of a deal. Like it works. So
Yeah, absolutely.
let's not get caught up. Let's not get our panties in a twist about it again. Like basically, it's like I think We're good with it. People, it's an iconic look. It works for this because, I mean, this is Superman, like one of the most, if not the most iconic superhero. It's like it works for
Right.
him. Let's just not get that obsessed with it again. I feel like it's proven to work, and that's where we are. Kyle, running out of time here. I want to ask you some real rapid fire questions about this movie. Just
Okay.
addressing some things. Do you think this movie looks ugly?
No, I don't think it looks ugly.
I don't at all. I don't know what people were. I think it. The more I see the movie, the
I think
more
just
it pops.
okay. I think the thing is that I think the reason why people think it's ugly is because Hollywood has been missing color lately, and
Oh,
so
you don't say.
and so to see
You don't say.
and so to see any semblance of color for the general audience is very jarring for them because they're like, "What is this color in my movie?" I
Yeah,
I think that's what makes everybody just like completely baffled at the fact that we have
and it's so
actual color.
stupid too because as you know, as James Gunn was saying, there is a mediocre movie uh fatigue happening, and a lot of the comic book films of these last 5 years have been very mediocre to bad, and many of those mediocre to bad movies have had very lackluster VFX. To that point, I thought the VFX in this film were pretty great. Like
Yeah,
they had a whole year to do them, and I didn't have an issue. Whereas I like you can, I don't know if you watched the recent Captain America movie, but like, oh my god, ugly,
I
ugly
I
movie,
I didn't honestly
and you don't need to. Yeah,
After Guardians Volume 3, I officially called it quits with the MCU.
and I think you are not alone. I think a large segment of the population is in your lane, which is like, I'm out of here. I don't. there's no reason to stay.
Because
Okay,
I
next thing.
got a complete with Guardians Volume 3, I got a complete story with the MCU.
Yeah.
I think the only two movies that you need to watch post Endgame is Thor: Love and Thunder to close out that story, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Those are the only two movies that you need to watch post Endgame.
Are
The
there any
rest,
Disney Plus shows that you would put in that company?
um, uh, I would say only one.
Which one?
Loki.
Okay. What about WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier? Not necessary.
Okay, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's great.
Mhm.
I like it. Well, not great. It's good. It's good. I'm gonna
It's
call it
good.
good.
Yeah.
WandaVision, I'm just gonna call good. Those are two good um good shows, miniseries, whatever you want to call it. Um but overall, like Wanda is okay where we leave her off in Endgame. We know that
I see.
Sam Wilson is going to pick up the shield and continue on with what he does, just in a very Falcon way. You know, you really don't need anything. You really don't need anything.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, we need to see Steve go across time and deliver the
No, you don't.
stones and all this. No, you
You
don't.
don't need to do that.
You don't need to see that. You don't need to see anything else. I think after Guardians Volume 3 and Thor Love and Thunder, just watch those two, and I think
And you're
that
good to go.
you already have a perfect set of films already that you could revisit again and again and again. You don't need anything else after that. Which, I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame because like there are some stories that can be told, but in terms of the completeness, this is where Hollywood needs to freaking end it with with just prolonging it stuff. Because John Wick Chapter 4, John Wick dies
Yep.
at the end, and yet they're making a fifth one.
Yeah.
How he
I mean, they're
died?
doing Toy Story 5.
That
Like, so it's like, there it is.
as soon as the handoff between Andy and Bonnie, that should have been the end. Oh my god! Like,
Okay.
ugh.
What about the Justice Gang?
Very entertaining, of course, highlighted by Mr. Terrific. I think He is, well, for lack of a better term, terrific in the movie.
Yes.
I remember, I forgot what the actor's name is, but I remember when he played Cole in House.
Eddie Cathegi.
Yeah, he was Cole in season 4 of House as one of the because House was kind of doing like a game show thing of trying to get a new team together, and I remember that specifically. I remember him from there. But I think he did amazing. One of the highlight scenes of this film was when Lois Lane was in his shields, and he's just going
Oh
off
yeah.
on the guards around the portal. I think that was absolutely great, absolutely fantastic, absolutely terrific. Even
Really? Yeah, yeah, of course he is. What about the Daily Planet gang?
the Daily Planet guy. I
Oh, the,
wish
the the crew, I guess, at the Daily Planet, all of them.
I guess maybe a little nitpick about this movie. I wish we got more of their dynamic.
I can see
I
that. I
I
think
would
they
not
cut things out of this movie. I think it's going to be longer than what it was.
I would not mind watching an office style documentary of the Daily Planet gang. You know,
Not at all.
like
Not at all.
a running gag is that Clark is always gone. You know, Perry White is saying, "Why do I even have you on the payroll at all?" Or and
Okay.
stuff like
At
just
this
stuff
point,
like
we've already
that.
been doing. I know we've already clarified it's full spoilers, but I got a kick out of the fact that they already knew that Lois and Superman were hooking up. Like, and of course they did. That was a real. I liked them a lot, and yes, I do agree with the thought that they needed more time. Yeah, I would, and I think there was going to be more. I'm pretty sure they cut like 20 minutes or so out of this movie, and if that's the case, James Gunn, since you're the head honcho of DC Studios,
Dir-
and since
Director's
Kevin
cut,
Feige,
baby.
yeah, Kevin Feige is opposed to it, but like, hey, I think we need more director's cuts. Do a director's cut. Like you have all the power to do it, so let's go ahead and do it. I would love a director's cut of this movie if we
Oh, me
had
too.
the opportunity. Like, come
I would love it.
on. There was more than enough people involved. Did you feel they made Jimmy Olsen too mean, or did you just like laugh it up? What do you think?
Pardon the French, but he's just he's just a fuck boy.
He really is.
He's a very competent one, but he's one of them, and
Yeah.
and I like how like Eve. By the way, Eva Tressmacher. By the way, brilliant performance from her. Um, like the way
Yeah.
that she's constantly like, "Good for you, Eve. Good for you for going with the for a better man," And while he's like saying, like the way she said in the alley when he's getting some dirt, um, she said, "I love your mom. Your mom loves me. That one time that we met, like
That's
just the fact that she's already like acquainted with his family and all that. I don't know.
But
There's
don't you
some,
just love the fact that like the whole time, like from the first instant that I saw her in the beginning of the movie, I just like dismissed her as this airhead that was just like so obsessed with herself and
I thought
taking
so
like
too.
selfies.
But she
And
was
then they
understated
used that
brilliant.
against us. They used that against us. He like I love Gunn's brilliance there. It's like, oh, I'm gonna put this person in there, and knowing you guys are not gonna even acknowledge her. It turns out she was integral. As Lois says, she was a genius.
She was a genius. Like all the selfies and all this stuff, using that again, her status quo of being an airhead and using that to her advantage is perfect. Perfect. Um,
I gotta
also,
tell you also, I didn't
sh-
real quick, I didn't see the clone thing coming, did you? I had like no, I didn't pick up any vibes at all. I should have seen it, but I didn't see it coming.
I did.
Okay.
I did
Because like
just knowing
go ahead.
Superman and knowing his rogues gallery. I was just like, oh,
Okay.
they're doing Bizarro.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. I mean, they've done it multiple times before. I think it
Okay.
was Superman 4 Quest for Peace, where Lex Luthor stole a strand of his hair to make a bad guy. I think that
Oh,
I
okay.
I there so it's already been established in the canon already, and
Okay, so
in this.
you were picking up what they were putting down, basically. Like
Yeah,
I wasn't like at all like even thinking that it was a clone, even though I should have been thinking that. There's just a lot happening when you watch it for the first time that like you know you're just trying to wrap yourself around it. But
yeah.
it's great though. You were gonna say?
Um. Oh no, continue.
Okay. Um. Peter's one critique is he feels the character of the engineer was not really all that needed in this story. Do you feel like he's saying that that character could have been like just melded into Ultraman's? Because Ultraman's already the muscle.
Yeah, I think okay, here's where I think that she is kind of necessary just for as a piece of character study for Superman. Where he is telling her that it is not too late. You could still, you don't have to listen to Lex. You could still be good. There's
Yeah,
still room for kindness.
yeah,
I think that is where she is absolutely necessary. If we get that little bit, while still being just a little bit of the film, I don't mind her character at all.
yeah. I didn't mind her. I would say maybe if I were to rank all the characters, maybe she'd be toward the bottom.
Yeah.
Um, I will say, did you? Uh, oh no, I forgot what I was going to say. I thought I was going to be involving that character, not necessarily at all. I didn't catch this, but apparently, like, there was a character in one of. I love Lex Luthor's whole headquarters,
Yeah.
and I love his team. Otis apparently was there, which is I guess Otis was like his right hand henchman in the first two movies.
Yeah. Otis was played by
Played by Ned Beatty.
Beatty.
Ned Beatty,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, he was I didn't catch that he was in there though.
I think they call him Otis like once or two times. Yeah,
Oh, that
I'll show. Yeah, and
I need to.
apparently he's going to be in Peacemaker season 2,
Oh, that's cool.
which is
By the w-
interesting how that's going to
by the
happen.
way, I laughed so hard at the cameo.
Everybody laughed because that's the last thing you think is going to be in this movie. They cut to freaking Peacemaker, and we're all like, "What happened? Where are we right now?"
Okay, so a question I have for you, Alexis, is this:
Yeah.
do you see tonally, or just like them figuring out a way to insert Reeves' Batman universe into uh Gunn's Gods and Monsters universe?
Let me tell you this. First of all, people were saying that the film was tonally inconsistent. This movie, I don't think so at all. First of all, second of all, to your question, yes, Superman and Batman are tonally not compatible because they're different properties. But as I was having a discussion with Alexis Moreno recently, if you think
Mhm.
about it, like, well, yeah, that's look, even in the animated series, Superman the animated series and Batman the animated series have very different vibes, and yet there's still a thing called the Justice League animated series. So
Yeah.
I think you can totally do it, and I gotta tell you this: I think it would work. I think it would be perfect, and I think people want this so much.
Yeah.
James Gunn's listening, and he and Matt Reeves have been getting on very well. And I'll tell you this: I don't think this was Matt Reeves' intent at all, but because he's been taking so long, it has kept James Gunn from being able to do anything with Batman. That there's a better shot today of this happening with Pattinson than there was 2 years ago when they announced Brave and the Bold by Andy Muschietti. Because let me tell you something, Andy Muschietti's movie is dead. That's not happening. Like after what happened with the Flash and the debacle, that like no, that's not happening. I don't want to set myself up to be disappointed, but I do think it's going to be hard if you cast another Batman at the same time that there's Pattinson happening with Matt Reeves' world. Like I don't think that's going to work.
For the general audience, it's going to be very confusing. It's going to be confusing just having that.
And the last thing you want if you're DC is to get on their last nerve. Like Audiences have been very patient with DC for a long time now. And I
Yeah.
think with this movie, this is your first step in winning them back. The last thing they need is to confuse people with two different Batman.
Yeah.
Like,
And I honestly, like, again, like, this is a big old tribute to comic books. Like, these tonal shifts happen all the time. These
yes, they
tonal
do.
shifts happen all the time. Like,
And Kyle, I think another argument to help us out is James Gunn has said that he wants to make sure that the movies that he makes at DC are tonally different. He's already said he does not want all the movies to be of the same tone like they do at Marvel. So that could be a telltale sign he's thinking about it, and he's already going to be making movies that are not necessarily feeling tonally the same. So I think the opportunity is there, and I think it makes all the sense in the world to do it.
yeah,
I want it.
I want it so bad. I think Robert Pattinson would make perfectly. And I saw like somebody like superimposed and like did something really fancy of combining Corn Sweat and Robert Pattinson together as as this universe is. And you know what? It look make like the suits, and it just makes perfect sense. And I honestly,
yeah.
and I already love the universe that Matt Reeves has already developed and all that stuff. Put a little gun flare in there. I think it'll be a match made in heaven, and that'll get my butt into the seat, faster than anybody else. I would already buy the ticket, if they announced, oh, Robert Pattinson's Batman is gonna cameo in the next Superman movie, and I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, that's great. That's a leap in the right direction in terms of how this Justice League is gonna run. And then also after seeing Andor, I wouldn't mind Adria Arjona being Wonder Woman as well.
Oh, I think she has a really great chance at being cast as that, and I think she'd be a terrific Wonder Woman too. James Gunn has already said that script is being written as we speak, and I think that movie is going to come sooner rather than later. So
That's good. I want
look,
more of this universe. I want more.
Yes.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Things are
I'm
looking up
forward to it.
for the first time
I'm
in
on
so
board.
many.
I'm on
I'll
board
even
with
say
this,
in over
this
10
whole entire
years,
universe.
things
Keep it
seem
coming.
to be looking up. Keep it coming. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up right here. Kyle, do you have any last thoughts on the movie?
Yeah, I just really really enjoyed this movie. I was so inspired about about this movie that I took a stop in the world's greatest podcast on earth.
But I thought we were among the worst. Isn't that what the thing was? No, we're world's finest. One of the world's finest podcasts.
World's finest. But yeah, so I was so inspired that I just wanted to stop by and talk about this. It was really fun. So a couple of other notes about the movie that I think will be
Please go ahead.
Will be fantastic. Oh, by the way, speaking of fantastic, are you looking forward to Fantastic Four or no?
I'm not necessarily excited, but I will say I think the sentiment is it has a pretty decent chance of being good. That being said, because it is an MCU, yeah, you don't want to like go in expecting all of that. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. I don't know how it's gonna do box office wise. In the long run, I think it'll have a big opening.
I think it's going to be under $1 billion for sure.
No, I don't think it's going to come close to that. And that being said, I'm not sure about Superman either. But the point is this: as far as it being good, I don't know. Honestly, I hope, which is more than I can say for the last couple of years, where I kind of like, oh yeah, that's not going to be good. Don't even bother wasting your time. So, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. So yeah, I just really liked it. I really like also the what's it called? The plot twist where it was revealed that Jor-El his actual thing was to say conquer the earth and not, was absolutely astonishing. But then it went into probably one of the best Pa Kent scenes in Superman lore. I'm gonna say that. It's such a good Kent scene back in Smallville. Also, I like the fact that he's not dead in this universe.
Me too. Me
It's
too.
I think it's great. I think it's great. He's not. He's not tethered. He's not tethered to Martha. um. So I think that with that being said, I like the and also Vince is a great actor, a great actor. I love his work.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I think that that was those were some great stuff. Crypto, adorable.
Oh
Um,
yeah, Crypto was great. I
he
loved
was
it.
he was the baddest, goodest boy ever.
Yeah, and what incredible effects work to make that come to life.
I think because it had the personal touch because it's based off of Gunn's dog.
Yeah.
I think that also it's a refreshing bit that it's not a lab because oftentimes crypto is depicted as a lab, but I like that fact that it's
Yeah.
a
The labs get too much love anyway. There are
it.
other kinds of dogs that deserve as much love, not more than labs, you know? We all love labs, but give it a break. Give it a rest. You know, you're a bit too much sometimes.
But yeah, so Gunn's love for animals still continues on in this movie. Um, which is refreshing. I don't know. I want to meet. Also another thing, just the little bit of Millie Alcock that we got as a Supergirl
Oh, she was great.
was great just in a little bit. And it clearly shows that she's going off of what's it called? Superwoman, Supergirl,
Woman of Tomorrow.
Woman of Tomorrow, where um, she goes to other planets to get drunk
Get drunk.
because the metabolism rate on other on red planets affects her more than it was on with the planet with the yellow sun, you know. So again, like his love for comic books is just merciless. And I was talking to my brother Zach a little while ago about the fact that he loves putting in like random people. Like I remember Mr. Terrific from like one episode of Justice League Unlimited on Cartoon Network. I remember Guy Gardner looking completely different from another Green Lantern show. And the fact that they went for the more classic looks and all it just speaks of like Gunn's absolute love and how like well studied he is in these comic books. So I don't know. I really like at the end of the day I really love the movie. Um Looking forward to seeing it not twice, not three times, four times, fifth time. No. Like 10 times maybe. 10 times, 20
For
times
the rest of your life.
for the rest of my
Ultimately,
life. Yeah. So
yeah.
it's a great Superman movie. I think this is the best Superman movie since Superman 2.
Yeah.
Um
For sure. For sure. It's going to be well remembered. I think so. I think it's already aging very, very well. And it is the beginning of an exciting new era for DC. And I'm very happy because I do think that the potential is definitely there from a movie to movie standpoint for the individual films themselves to, I think, even surpass the MCU. The MCU works in large part because it works as a whole, not as much for its individual pieces. I think the reverse will happen with DC, where it's like we're going to have some really great individual stories, as they should be, going into production with a finished script and an overall vision and direction.
I hope that it also works as a whole when they do the
Well, yeah,
Justice
and I think
League
they
movies
will.
and
Especially since, like, if James Gunn's going to do World's Finest next, if he does that movie next, it's going to be interesting to see how that go. Do you know what that is? Do you know what?
no.
Okay, so look, this is why I said World's Finest, because the rumor is that the next movie he's going to be doing personally is a sequel to this, but not necessarily Superman 2. It's a story that features Superman and Batman. That's the rumor.
Okay,
Like
that's gonna be That's gonna be interesting.
But we don't know which Batman. And here's hoping it's
fingers crossed
the one
for
and only.
Pattinson. Fingers crossed for Pattinson, but yeah. I really like. I'm fully on board. I'm fully on board with this. I can't wait.
For sure. Kyle, thank you very much for joining us here today. We very much enjoyed listening to your thoughts. Perhaps we can do more of this so in the future if the temptation is definitely there.
Yes.
For everyone else, thank you, of course, for listening. Stay under our red spotlight for more content and more. And we see you guys next time. Bye-bye.